If you are not ready to work, hustle, kill, then please leave.
Here we go.
All right, welcome back to the Savage Excellence Podcast. I'm your host, Tristan Nelson, here with my co-host,
Will Hardy.
This podcast is for hardcore bodybuilders and success-driven individuals, and our mission is to help create a community of savages who consistently pursue personal excellence.
So, Pittsburgh Pro, eh?
Dude, what a fucking wild trip, bro.
Yeah.
We should run it back all the way from the beginning.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, what was it, Thursday? That we got everyone together, headed up to Illinois. Pick up Sam, and then we trained at, what was it called again?
Oh, I don't even remember the name of the gym.
Yeah,
It was
I don't remember what the name was. But pretty badass gym. There was like a lot
insert in
of...
the description.
Yeah. Had like Marvel murals over.
Dude, it was so sick.
Super sick lighting. Pretty dope machines in there. And how was your lift in that gym?
Dude, it was phenomenal. We literally, we didn't do very much volume because we were kind of on a time crunch. And either way, we got there late, but we'll get into that. But it was a solid lift for only being there for an hour and a half.
Yeah, dude, we were so fucking late to the Airbnb. We literally even hopped on a Zoom call and planned out that entire trip for over an hour, bro. And we still got there.
That just goes to show that you can plan for everything, but there's just especially in a group of guys that big.
Yeah, we were 3-4 hours behind schedule, but we ended up. I think the showers after the gym, us rinsing off, really put us behind. But overall, I mean, fuck it, it's a trip, vacation. Things aren't going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Vacation, I think that's important sometimes. Is not everything is going to always be perfect.
Yeah.
As bodybuilders, whenever you're doing stuff like that,
right?
Which is okay because you don't do it very often. So, but yeah, I thought that first trip to that first gym was pretty dope. I unfortunately was having I've been having a lot of shoulder pain lately, so that kind of threw me off in there.
Oh yeah.
And just I could not find a good connection with really anything and get a pump to save my life. But
you still looked wild, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was freaking crazy. We got some cool individual shots of everyone.
Yeah.
It was some dope. We got some dope content. We met some cool people.
For sure.
That guy who runs the gym is a pro.
Yeah, it's sick.
I kind of look. I think I follow him on Instagram. He's a cool dude. But I think it sounds like he's doing another gym here soon.
Oh damn!
He might be doing another gym.
I didn't realize that.
It was just super cool to off the bat rip a dope ass gym.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then just freaking that's where the real travel began was from Chicago here to Chicago it was fine, and then Chicago to Pittsburgh is that long stretch of 7-8 hours. You're just in the car and you're oh my god.
Yeah, because there's 6 of us in that Toyota Dakota. Right?
Yeah, it was
a lot of testosterone in one car.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised we didn't get any bigger fights.
Yeah.
With all the androgens everyone
started just going 8 mode. But no, but we ended up driving. We took stops every 2 hours or so, and then eventually got into Pittsburgh. We stopped at the shadiest gas station in the fucking world.
Dude,
surprised none of us got stabbed. But
I was waiting for that homeless man to come up to me, bro.
Seriously.
Hey man, you got anything?
Dude, I thought that place was fucking haunted. That place was scary as shit.
Really?
That gas station?
Yeah.
And then, we were driving around for 20, 30 minutes trying to fucking find our Airbnb.
Dude, that was so fun. I got a video of the whole thing too. I'll have to show you later. It was hilarious, dude.
That was so damn funny. Skipping every single stop sign that Sam was driving through. But
don't worry, we drove legally.
Yeah.
For all those wondering.
What was it 1:30 that we eventually got there? Something like that.
Yeah, it was 1:30, and it was 2.
No, it was probably 2. Yeah.
No, it was 2 because I looked at my phone when I took that video. We were still driving. We were still been driving for that point for another 15 minutes past that point. It was 2:09 a.m. So we didn't get to the Airbnb probably until 2:30.
Yeah, and our schedule that we had planned out on the call was to be 11 max. Bruh.
That was funny.
We ended up getting there, we got settled in, and then we woke up, went and got some breakfast at that breakfast joint.
That was that breakfast was gas.
Pretty good. We walked up the fucking world's steepest hill to get there. And then, honestly, it was kind of nice, though. Just, like, kind of get a little bit
extra
something
steps.
going.
Yeah.
And then we got there. It was, like, a super small little hidden little breakfast place. I feel like those are always the best spots. You know?
Yeah, straight up, bro.
But
they got the best food.
We went in there, super little, like, quaint little place. Got some good breakfast. I haven't had a good, like, restaurant breakfast meal in a freaking fat minute. So that was super sick. Just, like, pancakes, eggs, bacon, you know, all that good shit. And then, what did we do after that? We went back and...
Went on a walk because our stomachs were all just, like, bloated, dude.
Shit. We took a little nap.
Ate a pre-workout meal.
And then we took a little bit of insulin, get that shit going. Just trying to max out every variable to get the gnarliest pumps.
Yeah.
But then we went to Exercise Warehouse Gym, right? That day?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a big fan of that gym. That place was fucking sick. We took so many compounds, like, before. Well, maybe not compounds, but just, like, exogenous things to at least
enhance the experience.
Enhance the performance. I was going into that workout, you know, obviously, like, testing me, but probably a good 400 milligrams caffeine, a Cialis, a little bit of shrooms, a little bit of weed, a little bit of insulin.
Dude, that's a lot.
That's a fucking list.
Oh my gosh. That explains it, though. I looked over, I was like, you are going through a straight war right now. I was like, oh my god.
Bro, so we were driving there, and you guys were like, listen.
You all had your headphones on, you had that hoodie. It was
fucking the whole time.
I looked back, and I was like, I'm not even going to talk to him. I'm just going to let him just do his thing, bro.
Dude, yeah, I was like, you guys were like listening to your, like, rock and shit, but I was just like, I'm about to just lock the fuck in and just got the hood up, headphones on, and I was just listening to, like, meditative shit the whole time.
Oh, that's sick.
And I was just, like, visualizing the entire workout beginning to end.
Dude, that shit helps, bro.
It does. I visualized that entire workout, like, 3 times, and I was thinking about ways, like, that I was visualizing myself through that workout just being a fucking animal for the entire time. So, like, by the time that I showed up, I was just ready to rehearse. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And, dude, I got in there. I took that Cialis for the first time ever, and, bro, I felt that shit, like, I felt like my whole body just had a pump before I even, like, got out of the car.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was just, like, sitting in there, like, everything, like, kind of starting to hit, you know, like, the bit of shrooms kicking in, like, everything else kind of kicking in. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is about to be the gnarliest fucking workout.
Yeah.
And...
Is that top 10 workouts or, like, top workout ever? Top 5?
Oh, for sure. In terms of, like, how I felt, definitely, like, probably one of the top... In terms of how I felt, best leg day I've ever had. Definitely. Hands down. Like, in terms of, like, how I... Performance. For sure.
That's crazy. Yeah, I looked over it. I was, like, 4 plates on the Smith. And then you did, like, what, 6 on the...
Hack squat.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I did... So I went into that workout starting on extensions, and I did, like, maybe 3 sets on there, and then I went straight to hack squats, worked my way up on that, and did a fat PR of 6 plates on there for, I think, like, 6 at least on my own, and then some assisted. I think 6 or 7. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But then I did a drop set down to, like, 4 for probably, like, 10 or so.
Damn.
And then I had some of my, like, one of my athletes and 2 other guys, like, we were training with go. And then I went straight to Smith squats, 4 plates for max reps, like, 10 to 12. And then did a drop set down to 3 plates for another, like, 10 to 12.
Oh, my gosh.
And then after that, we went straight into leg press for another, like, 7 plates for, like, 10, drop set down to, like, 5 for another, like, insane. 10 to 12.
Jeez, bro.
And then I did another 3 top sets on extensions at the end.
Dude, that might be close to the volume we did in that 1 4-hour... No, we did more on that one, didn't we? No, wait, that's count the sets. I was going to say, like, count the sets. We did the
only extra thing we did in there that I didn't do was adductors.
Yeah.
But you guys were on that, and I just wanted to get going. But...
I'm going to fucking lock it. I remember that. Dude, I was like, that was so funny, dude. And I look over, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let him do his thing. That was so awesome.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for that because, like, I was planning to help you guys record and stuff, but like, dude, I was just like,
You're just like, you need to get after it.
so fucking locked
Well,
in. And
it's good that you can notice that though.
Yeah, I'm like,
you know what I mean?
Bro, I just can't with this. Because like, yeah, I
There's
can only
certain,
do.
Yeah, there's certain
much.
workouts that you're just like, all right, I just need to lock the fuck in.
Yeah, I honestly, I would much rather just go all in on the moment, like when I'm feeling it for a workout, than like be distracted like with cameras and shit like that and stuff like, I'd much rather have that like effective all out workout.
Right.
But I think what was like really sick in there is obviously I did like my mark of Savage Excellence.
That was so cool.
And that's kind of like my secret weapon that I use for my top workouts. Like I've only really done it, I can count on one hand how many times I've done that. Mm-hmm. And dude, once that like fucking mark goes on my face, I just like,
it's just like extreme motivation.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, yeah.
So if you
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, if you don't know what that like is, Mark of Savage Excellence is something I do for super hardcore training sessions, where I mark up my fingers with black, like eyeliner basically, and then I wipe it across my face for kind of like looks like war paint.
It's like war paint, yeah.
Seriously, war paint. But it kind of also looks like the claws, like within my brain. Yeah. So it kind of means like two different things. It's like the claws for the savage mentality, and then it's also war paint, like I'm about to go to fucking war.
Yeah.
And, bruh, whatever.
Dude, when you got done with that workout, you had that look on your face, like that, what they call it, the 40-mile stare from like those veterans or whatever, you know what I'm talking about? You're just looking at it like, I was like, dog. Bro, you just went through it, dude.
Dude, that was the crazy thing too, though, is like, I felt like I could have stayed in that gym for another hour, just like gone fucking.
Well, that's the thing with legs, dude. That's what I realized, like training with you. Like after we did that one, like 3-4 hour, but like leg workout, I was like, dude, you reach a certain point with legs where it's just like you get euphoric and you just can keep going.
Yeah, and
it's almost dangerous. Yeah, it's almost dangerous because you're like, wait, fuck.
Yeah,
I was just doing legs for 4 hours. I might not be. I'm gonna be fucked for a week, dude.
Because like you have so much shit in you, that's like making your capacity for performance much higher than what your body can actually keep up with. So like it's almost like in those animes, like whenever they pull like their ultimate move out of their ass, where like they're super powerful, but then the effects to their body like hit afterwards and they're just like fucking obliterated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of how I felt in there. Was like, I was in it like by the end of like that leg press, like even kind of going into that, I knew my body was like pretty freaking trashed. Mm-hmm. But mentally, I was just like, oh, I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like 3 compound movements deep.
Yeah.
But I just finished off on some extensions because I knew we had to get going. And I didn't want to, like, obviously just, like, keep going and just, like, take, like, 2 weeks to recover. But
right. But there is something about that. Like, it's like that video you sent me a couple of days ago with that Hani Rambod, like, session. Mm-hmm. Where it's like you just have to push past that pain point. Yeah. So many people don't realize like the limiting factor of why you can't train harder is literally in your brain.
Yeah.
And once you reach that point and you unlock that, especially with legs, like it's a certain like it almost feels like after like 2 hours with legs, if you're going hard, after about like an hour and a half, 2 hours, you reach that point where you're just like fuck, and then like 5 minutes later you're like holy shit, and you can just keep going.
Dude, yeah, I feel like that's something I'm getting better at. Is I'll have sets where like I just like have this certain pain threshold where it just like builds and builds and builds, but once it hits that certain threshold, it's like everything just like I just go numb and I can just go like to the darkest fucking most intensity, like
yeah,
and it is fucking really just laid on the line. And it's like this certain spot that like once I'm there I just know it, you know what I mean? And I like the extensions, at the end with that 1 4-hour leg day we did, like that was a time like where I just hit that.
Yeah, I hit that too. I was like, holy, yeah.
Like where you just fucking go.
Yeah.
But even like this leg day, like I wasn't like feeling too bad after like the first couple days because I was just running like on an adrenaline and motivation for the whole fucking
How are you feeling
trip.
right now?
And dude, my legs have been sore as shit since like Friday. Since and it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
But they're feeling a lot better today.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, dude, I would say that was like one of the best leg days I've ever had. I just demolished every single PR I've had, both weight and reps consistently. And every single one every single compound in that had at least one drop set, which is just fucking nutty, dude.
Dude, that's so dope.
I felt like Ferrari. Just insane.
Yeah.
But
revving the engine. Yeah.
Huh?
Revving the engine.
Oh yeah.
Slap some muscle in there too, bro. You fucking legs are looking a lot bigger, a lot fuller.
That's from actually training hard.
Yeah,
you know
exactly, right?
That's like my favorite thing about the off season is like whenever you have that caloric intake and the PDs, it's like you can just really go all out and not have to really worry like too much about recovery.
Yeah.
But moving on, after that training session, oh, bro, I almost forgot the best part, dude. So when I was finished up, I was feeling just insanely good. I was talking to one of the employees at the desk. And dude, I like turn around to go into the bathroom and fucking Keon.
Dude, I know. I saw that.
Oh my gosh.
It was fucking wild.
It just took me by surprise too, because I like just turned around and just boom, like right there. I was just like, I was like so speechless. But I was just like so sick. And my buddy Shane got a photo of us, which was really cool because it was more of like a candid moment and not like, Keon, let me get a picture with you like every other fucking fan. You know what I mean? It was cool to have just like that genuine moment and just saying, hey, like, dude, what an honor just to meet you. Shook his hand and like just told him go get that fucking dub this year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's dope.
That was a super dope moment. But then we went after that spot. We met C-Bum there too. C-Bum. There were some other pros there. Terrence Ruffin was there as well. I found out later. I was too fucking locked in, but he was like right behind me the whole time.
You didn't know that?
I didn't even notice.
Oh my gosh.
Just locked in, dude.
Dude, I saw you like hitting like some crazy hard sets, and I looked over and it's literally him doing like upside down like ab work. It was crazy. And decompression.
No. You know what that was? Is he was hanging upside down to help elongate his spine to maximize his height for stage.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. You can do that?
Oh yeah.
That actually
yeah, it helps your vertebrae kind of lengthen a little bit. It's insane. Not like a drastic difference, but it can help a little bit. For sure.
That's wild.
Yeah. But then after there, we got some dope pictures and we headed out to get some sushi. That was fucking sick. That was some good ass sushi.
Yeah.
Dude, you smashed like how many rolls, bro?
Bro, it was a lot.
Almost 40. Something like that.
Yeah. Sam got 50.
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
And then Aiden ordered, dude, that was so funny, dude. He ordered like 30 of those Philadelphia rolls. And those, I'm not gonna lie, those rolls were kind of ass.
Yeah.
Like I tasted one and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
that's not it, dude.
Because he said 4 rolls. He ordered 4 rolls thinking it was like literally just 4 individual rolls.
Yeah.
But it was like 4 rolls of like 7 or some shit.
Yeah, I don't think you realized that. It was like this huge plate.
Yeah, like with
he comes out, he's like,
rolls.
That's a lot of food, dude.
That's a lot of food. That's funny as fuck. Honestly, he did really good. He smashed quite a few of those rolls. But that was some really good ass sushi. And then we headed back to the place, Airbnb. We chilled. That was the night we chilled, like played some video games.
Dude, that was so dope.
That was
played video games. We watched Futurama. Right?
Futurama.
That was actually a dope night.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that was sick. Just kind of chill. I haven't
had like time like that with the boys for like such a long time, dude.
Yeah, some nostalgic ass shit too, because they're playing first Black Ops Zombies.
Oh yeah, that was
just
sick.
Throwback.
We all saw it except for Shane and what?
Caleb.
Yeah, they got to like round 14. Yeah,
that was wild. But that was super dope. Just kind of feeling, just enjoying the moment, just kind of relaxing, even though it was like way past our bedtimes. Sometimes you just gotta like be present and just enjoy it. But then we moved on, woke up. This was show day, Saturday. We woke up and we went to the expo first, right?
Yeah.
That was super sick. What did you think of the expo?
I thought it was dope. I wish I could have experienced a little bit more. it sucked because we kind of had a time crunch for finals and the fact that, what was it? We were afraid of like me getting like towed because we only parked there for 2 hours, and luckily we were fine. But it was dope. We got to meet the guy who invented New Tech, bro.
Oh wow!
We literally met him, bro. It was crazy.
I didn't realize that.
And then we met the main sales rep guy who was talking to me and Sam, and he was a cool dude as well. But just showing us how all these machines work. Like we got a couple of clips of me, him, and Aiden trying out this like this delt raise machine. But then it goes like past a certain point, so like you can get like stretch all the way down here.
Damn.
And it was crazy because it adjusts all the way to your height and all that shit.
Damn.
I think what sets New Tick apart from so many different other like companies when it comes to like training equipment is like literally the fact that every single part of the machine is able to be adjusted to fit your exact body, which is so dope. And wherever you are in your fitness journey. So if you're smaller, like there's certain adjustments that you have, you know what I mean? Whereas if you're like super, super big and you got wide shoulders, like you have certain things you can do as well, like, which is just super cool with each machine. But that was probably like one of the highlights. We got to meet Sam, 7-time Lister Olympian, Phil Heath. That was pretty crazy.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I should have gone up to him. I always feel bad sometimes whenever I go to those places and I see pros. I just don't want to be like another fan, like just bugging him, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the same situation with Keon, right? Like, you talked to him. I was like trying to make eye contact and like kind of just like see what he was like feeling out. And I was just like, all right, well, I don't feel like I'm getting vibes. Like he wants to talk to me, so I just didn't. Whereas you kind of just hopped up. You're already like you had more pain in your face, and you're just like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
But that was like the difference is like you just gotta like and Sam said it best. He's like you just gotta like go up to them because it's just like they do the same things that we do. They're humans. We're humans. Like we don't have to be afraid of like I'm putting them on this pedestal. Like you know what I mean. Like of course they're like like they may have more success and accomplishments, but you know we can have a dope ass conversation with them. You don't have to be like afraid. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to like work on as well is just being able to like just be present on that sense of like, all right, I'm just gonna have a dope conversation. I don't care about a picture at all. Like I just want to have a conversation.
Right, exactly.
Like you said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was the biggest thing I wanted is like I want to connect with him. I don't want him to feel like I'm just like another fan. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want to have like a human to human conversation. But yeah, I thought the expo was pretty sick. Saw a lot of cool people around like Seth Feroce, Honey Rambo.
Did you get to meet him?
No, unfortunately. We had to get going. Yeah. I was planning to go back and meet him, but we ended up having to get going. But I did talk to one company that was called Savage Life, which is
yeah, you got that shirt from them.
Yeah.
They seem like a cool dope company, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like similar ideologies in terms of our brand and really cool owners. Talked to the wife of the owner and got some good information, like learned a lot from her in terms of like coaching, business and blood work kind of stuff. Her husband looks like a fucking straight up Viking, dude.
Really?
Yeah, just super long braids. Just looks like Nordic as shit.
That's super cool.
Super dope. But it was just really cool to kind of talk to them. I probably talked to them for like 20 minutes there. We had a really good conversation there and followed each other on Instagram, stuff like that. So I think it was cool. Like that's like my biggest goal whenever I go on events like that is to just like make like a really deep connection like with someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we kind of just walked around, got some products. I tried some like Evogen drink that I had on the way to the gym, which was really freaking good. I like that one.
Those what they call RTD? No, RTD? No.
I don't remember. It was I don't remember.
Yeah.
But super dope. Then we went to the gym. Mm-hmm. After that, we like were.
we were just like stemmed out of our minds and fucking
exactly. We did so much shit. Oh my gosh! But
yeah, it goes back to definitely worth it. Dopamine receptors fried.
Fried as shit. We went to Powerhouse. Right? Yeah, in Pennsylvania. What'd you think of that,
dude? I like that gym so much in the sense that there's so many different rooms and stuff, like so much equipment, good lighting. Mm-hmm. I can't. I don't know if you could rate all the gyms that we visited, like what would you rate them in like just as far as everything goes, like which ones do you like the most?
Like 1, 2, 3, or like a 1 out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah. What about starting with the first gym we visited?
The first one. I think the gym itself is fucking sick. Mm-hmm. I think just my experience wasn't the greatest there, but in terms of like the gym itself,
if it wasn't an ideal experience, it would be dope. Yeah,
I'd say I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 to 8.5. That's pretty freaking sick. I liked it. I liked all the different lightings areas. I liked all the different kinds of equipment. I liked the murals a lot. I thought it was a pretty.
They had some cool Panada stuff there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Honestly, probably like a 9, 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
9.1. Yeah.
My style of gym is much more like grungy.
Yeah.
That's why I really like the second one a lot.
Yeah.
I'd give that one like a 9. I'm a pretty simple guy. Like, I don't really like huge gyms. I kind of like it simple where like I don't have to walk a mile and a half to the next machine I want to use. But I'd give that one like a 9 because I think it could have been like a little bigger. But I think it was big enough for what we needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It literally felt kind of like a little warehouse, like you kind of just went into, and it had. I really liked that gym because it had both a mix of like newer, higher quality equipment, and then also kind of like older, broken in, more like character kind of pieces that still operated.
How did you like the hash squat there?
Oh, dude, I fucking loved it.
Is it better than the one
awesome.
iron?
It's hard to say. I think irons is definitely like a little bit smoother, but I love machines with character, and I like the older kind of style of machines. So it's kind of like pros and cons to each. But I really loved that hack squat. I loved every single piece of equipment in there. Honestly, kind of like that Metroflex kind of vibe. You know,
Yeah.
I really dig.
I like that. I like it too. I'd probably say, like 8.9, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gym was dope. I think if the gym I go to, I don't have like some kind of slight concern of getting tetanus, like it's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
But yeah, we finished up our workout there in the Powerhouse gym on Saturday. That was a pretty solid workout. I think that was a lot of fun. Had a good intense session there. And then...
What would you rate the Powerhouse gym out of 10?
Yeah. I kind of give that one like an 8.8.
Okay.
Pretty also up there. I really liked how it kind of had both, like 2 different rooms of kind of like older stuff and then one of like newer stuff. I thought that was pretty dope. Kind of like 2 different areas of lighting as well. But again, I'm just like I'm a very simple guy when it comes to training. I just like my little spot, my basic stuff, my older equipment with like a little bit of new age stuff, and like that's it.
I think I rated that gym probably like 8.5, 8.6.
Yeah.
It was pretty solid. Had a lot of equipment. I think it just wasn't like, I don't know, like it didn't compare to like some of the gyms that we visited to. Like I really liked that second gym we visited. I really like Social Candy a lot.
Yeah.
Social Candy is just a dope gym. Quads gym. Again, it's got those gyms with character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's just got like really high quality equipment, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd say Quads and Social Candy are probably my top 2 gyms I've been to so far.
Yeah.
Those are dope. Also, yeah, Metroflex is pretty sick too out in Milwaukee because I really like.
Have you been there?
Yeah, a couple of times.
I'll go there.
I like it because it's like grunge, but it's more of like a lot of natural light comes in there too.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of like a more uplifting kind of vibe, like with the grunge too. You know what I mean?
That's sick.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, we had a pretty solid workout there. Kind of had to get going because we were running a little bit short and we needed to get to finals.
That was kind of stressful, bro.
That was stressful, bro. We had to haul ass.
We stopped. We tried to stop for like Chick-fil-A, right? And then like the line was just like a million.
Yeah, we were like, fuck this.
I was like, fuck that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like was just doing past traffic, just trying to cut and weave, and we made it on time.
Yeah, we did. Got out of the car. We had to walk like maybe half a mile or like quarter mile.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't terrible, but we had to like start running at the end, getting close. Then went in the wrong building, had to go back. But we eventually got there, got seated. I sat literally right next to James English.
That was sick, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Sam met him earlier, and then you got to sit next to him.
Yeah,
you talked to him a little bit.
Yeah, we just talked. We were just talking like normal people. Which
That's super cool.
I was kind of
like, Sam gave him a zing. That was funny.
That was funny as shit.
Yeah.
But, dude, the show was just mind-boggling, dude.
Yeah.
Some of the craziest physiques I've ever seen. What was like the highlight of the show for you?
Dude, when Derek and Nick like went head to head, it was so dope.
The sudden death.
I got it on video too. It was like the coolest shit ever.
It was super cool. They had Nick and Derek. I think they said like the first tie ever or something like that.
Yeah.
First tie ever in the NPC or IFBB.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is super sick. And they had them come out to do a sudden death round to see, basically like run them through poses. And
whatever person failed first or whatever.
Yeah, or I think it was maybe just like get like one final last look at him, kind of see crowd's reaction, etc.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious to see, did you see if Tyler Banyan did a breakdown on it yet or no?
I haven't seen anything yet. I want to go check out YouTube here pretty soon. I should check that out right after this. But I am curious to see that breakdown.
Yeah.
Because there's a big upset. Everyone thought Nick was going to win. He was looking crazy. Whenever they were like asking the crowd, like, what do you think of Derek? He'd be like, what do we think of Nick? It's like
everyone wanted Nick to win.
And he looked great. Like Nick looked awesome. Like I really thought he was going to get it. But they ended up announcing Derek's name.
I thought Derek looked a little bit surprised when he won.
Really?
Yeah. Because I noticed, like, I think maybe he didn't have that same confidence towards the end as he did with the Arnold. I don't know if you noticed that. I
didn't think he had the greatest confidence in the beginning, but I think he had better confidence
towards the end. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I thought they both looked great.
Yeah.
I could have really honestly seen it going either way, just for different reasons.
I can say, like, since I went to see Derek at the Arnold versus I went to the Arnold and this with Derek. Like, I definitely think that Derek was a lot better at the Arnold.
Really?
A lot better.
I saw a comparison of him. From
he had cross striations in his rectus femoris at the Arnold, and he didn't have it at the show.
Interesting.
Like, he was a lot less, not less conditioned, but like maybe just missed his peak or something like that. Definitely less striations in his chest. Maybe a little bit spilling over. I don't know. Maybe just missed something. But
I don't know. That's interesting because I saw like some kind of side comparison of him at the Arnold versus this show, and he looked like better, in my opinion.
Really?
But it was just a side chest shot. So
okay, I could see from either side.
Yeah.
But the front for sure, like he looked a lot better at the Arnold.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like different poses, like some of them had over the other one, where like I think Nick really dominated him in like the back double. I thought Derek had a better like ab and thigh. Honestly, I think Derek had a better side chest when they were like compared next to, like from the side when I was actually there in person, it looked like Nick had a better one. But when I saw actual photos of them like a direct on look, I'm like, oh yeah, I could have honestly seen Derek get it. But they both just had like fucking wild, dude. Like watching Derek hit like a front double, dude. Just those proportions, I was just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's insane.
Nuts.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite part of the show is Terrence's routine. Dude,
that was so dope.
Nuts, dude.
It was insane. Watching that live was just like every single movement was just like perfectly executed.
Perfect.
And then bro goes, I feel a little rusty.
Fuck you, dude.
That's insane, dude.
Crazy, man. I was watching it and like the aura he had doing that routine was just like unmatched. I was just...
Yeah, you can't even describe it like versus in person versus like online.
The video doesn't know justice.
No.
When I was actually watching it, dude, I was like getting chills. I was getting like a little bit teary-eyed. I was like, dude, this is art in motion right now.
Yeah.
And I really look up to the bodybuilders that really put in their work when it comes to posing, like Logan Franklin, Terrence Ruffin, those guys. Because
it shows off their physique better.
Well, not even that, but it's like I have a deep passion within the art side of bodybuilding, so like seeing that means so. Like it's like this very similar kind of outlook, I guess. But I think it says a lot about the actual athlete that puts in an incredible amount of time to make their posing routine good for something that's like not even judged.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that to me is a real champion that just goes like incredibly above and beyond for a routine that makes the, like for the audience. You know what I mean? Not for the trophy.
Right.
For the trophy too, but I think it's something where it's like they're just doing that for the love of the game.
Right.
I think that's dope as fuck. And that's something I really want to do. I really like one of my biggest goals within shows is to have just like an epic posing routine.
Yeah.
I think that's so dope. Honestly, one of my favorite parts about prepping for a show is the posing routine.
Yeah.
Seriously. I think it's so dope.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. To learn how to pose better. Sam wants to teach me better, and I'm going to have to ask you guys both for some tips because it definitely needs work. But
at least you got time to practice.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, but yeah, dude, speaking of, when we talked about the big upset, like, I was, you know how like Joel was telling us a little bit about AI issues. This is a little bit off topic, but kind of on topic. So I asked AI, I was like, who do you think won the Pittsburgh Pro? And like I asked a couple in-depth questions, kind of give them like kind of backgrounds and more context. And AI actually believed that Nick won.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting because it was like they talked about like Derek's proportions being a little bit better, but then like just the overall comeback, the improvements since last showings, what judges wanted to see, the Nick that Nick literally brought the Nick that everyone wanted to see.
Yeah.
And so like that's why I think in the end the AI chose the Nick.
Yeah.
Which is super, super cool.
Yeah, I mean, like when you looked at him from different shots, yeah, I don't know. I think I probably would have chose Nick if I was a judge.
Yeah.
But
you can see how Derek won.
Yeah, I can see an argument for Derek as well. But do you think business was influenced with the decision of the winner?
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit?
Maybe a little bit. Because mostly just the fact that like I don't want to be the one to be like, oh, bodybuilding is all politics, because it's really not. People like to make that excuse because they don't put the actual hard work in. They're like, oh, well, I worked so much harder than everyone else. And it's like, no, you didn't, bro. Your physique sucks. Your work trash. you didn't put enough work in. Pro. Right. Like, you didn't put enough work in. You're making excuses for it. But it's like, at the end of the day, like they're at that pro, like that super high pro level, like there's going to be decisions made maybe once in a blue moon like this, where it's like, okay, Derek did say that he was trying to do this Triple Crown thing, and it seems like more of his sponsors are closer and closer to the Manions, and so maybe like you could make a slight argument that maybe it's controversial because it might be towards business. You could also make the Bob argument. Yeah. Like I told you about the other day, where Bob...
Who the fuck is Bob?
Who the fuck is Bob? And then, which is basically a shirt to give everyone context. Nick wore a shirt where it was just like, who the fuck is Bob? And it was kind of calling out Bob Chicarello, who was the announcer at the shows. And on a podcast, Bob like called out Nick and was like, well, I'll tell you who the fuck Bob is. Bob is the guy who's going to be calling you out in 8th place at the Olympia. Yeah. And so Nick didn't take it very lightly, but maybe you could slightly argue, this is a little bit of a push, that like Bob didn't want to have to interview Nick for the winner speech.
That could be a potential reason. I could maybe see the argument, kind of like you said with Derek trying to go for this Triple Crown with Pittsburgh, the Arnold, in the future of the Olympia. So I could maybe see something where, like from a business perspective, they want more hype kind of like around the Olympia.
Exactly.
Where if Derek wins the Arnold and the Pittsburgh Pro, now he only needs that one last win for the Olympia, which if someone, either he wins it, super hype, or he gets dethroned, super hype.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
a win-win either way.
Right.
You're bringing up more people to the Olympia. So it makes sense. And it also gives Nick Walker, like, I think Nick took it so professionally. Like, dude,
he did.
That way, that response, like, in the moment, like, you could see he was clearly mad, but he wasn't showing it like crazy. And then, like, to be like to put like a video out the next day, and it was like no emotions, just, all right, we're going to New York. Yeah. We're going to win this.
Yeah, I thought
congrats to Derek. And he was like literally congratulating Derek for that. And then that just lights a whole another fire under his ass.
Champion mentality.
Yeah. That's why I like it. That's what I like really about Nick, especially like watching him, especially a little bit more like closely the last couple of weeks, and then over like how long I've been following him for like the last couple of years. Just seeing like that mindset that he has is super, super, super cool. So
yeah, he's got probably one of the most like disciplined mindsets I've seen. Like just incredible discipline. I saw some statistics somewhere where he's like, he hasn't like missed a meal since he was like 17 or something. Like
bro, that's insane, dude.
Yeah. Or I saw some other like podcasts where this dude, just like in his response, I could tell like he was talking to Nick saying, like, what time do you go to bed? And like, how live or die are you by that? And he just looks at me, he's just like, oh, I don't miss. Just like ever. I'm just like, damn, bro.
Damn.
Like he was like just dead serious. Like,
I don't
that's
miss.
A stupid question. He almost like not like saying to him it's a stupid question, but like he's so disciplined. Like a question like that was like, oh, I just don't miss.
Yeah, it's
I
just a
thought that was
standard.
so sick.
It's a standard
It's a
that he lives by.
standard,
Yeah, that's super cool. That's something I want to try to emulate sometime in the future. I mean, both you and him inspire me because it's like not missing a meal for 11 months and then hearing just that now, like that's so cool to me because it's like
No cheat meal for 11 and a half months.
no cheat meal for okay.
No,
Still though, that's still inspiring. Like, dude, I haven't heard anyone I know do that shit, bro. So that's inspires me to be like, holy shit, like let's lock the fuck in.
Yeah.
On every single aspect, because that's what it is. It's like if you want to take this stuff seriously, it's again like tell us to everyone, bodybuilding is controlling the variables.
And then improving them.
Yeah, exactly. The better you can control them, the easier it is for the science experiment to figure out what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. That's something my old coach used to preach a lot, is something you see in the pros the most is being always poised. Never being, and like always riding the midline. Something I try to think about too is like I never really like to be too high up on like the high horse or too like low and hard on yourself. Like just always kind of ride that midline. And I think Nick just does like a really awesome job of that. Like he's always just composed and poised, and he's never like too emotionally, skewed in either direction. Like he's always just on the straight path.
Yeah.
And I think that really kind of just like inspires me of like, this dude is just
no matter the outcome, he's still he's still persevering.
Just focused on the next fucking thing.
Yeah.
But so after that show, we headed back to the Airbnb, kind of cleaned up, and
we made the decision to drive home.
Just made the decision to not even sleep, because like we would have only slept at that point for like 2 hours before we had to get up, because we wanted to get home in time for Mother's Day. So we were already going to have to be getting up pretty damn early. So we just kind of said, fuck it, just hopped in the car and just headed out. And dude, that drive home was pretty fucking fun, I think. Like,
it was fun. There was some crazy moments, I'm not gonna lie. Like stopping at some of these, like I was telling you yesterday, we stopped at a gas station in Ohio, and like seeing Sam stare at that guy at the window was hilarious to me. And then seeing Sam, we stop again like a couple hours later, and seeing Sam like get like, what was it, how many fucking cookies did he grab? Like 2 or 3 cookies.
Oh really? I didn't even know.
I think it was like 2 cookies at least, and then he grabbed like a bunch of other stuff.
Burger and fries.
And he's just like, I gotta get my meals in. Like that was so cool, dude.
Dude, the amount of fucking like dirty food that dude ate, I was just like, holy shit, bro.
It just goes straight to the bicep for him, though. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
But he knows his body. Like that's that's one thing I was gonna say as well. Like that I really learned was over the weekend is like just seeing you, like being with all you guys, but then seeing how everyone did their own things, like noticing that stuff, like, and especially like how Sam like literally knew how each thing was gonna affect his body. Like he literally talked about he wants to be peaking all the time, in the sense that like, my muscles are popping, my veins are constantly popping, I'm doing shit just so that like I look sick, number one, but I'm making the most progress out of everything because I know every aspect of my body. So that's something like I want to emulate going forward as well. Like with tracking a couple more things, seeing like just putting biofeedback in better with like, all right, this cheat meal made me feel this. It affected my digestion. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't very, very well. And just being more keen to like hearing like what my body's saying off of doing certain things. Do I need more water? Do I need less water?
Yeah.
Do I need more sodium? And that kind of stuff. So that's something I really want to emulate going forward, because it's just cool to see that. Like, you're literally understanding, like mastering the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what like bodybuilding is. It's mastering your body, your physique, your chemistry, everything like that. And I think that's just like the coolest thing about bodybuilding is like it's both like this passion, and it's also both this like science, and it's kind of like an art of like meshing the two together to create the best overall product. Because I don't think just intensity can only get you so far, and like just science can only get you so far. Like,
exactly.
I really think the best product is like when they come in.
Yeah, combine them both.
Energy. Yeah.
Exactly.
But that trip home was super sick. Dude, I'm super glad I swapped off, because I tried like, I was like
3-4 hours, dude.
Honestly, dude, I was like driving, and I was telling Jim like, dude, I'm ready to just knock this whole fucking drive out. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And then like after 3.5 hours, dude, like.
And you're like, what'd you say?
Well, dude, I was like seeing creatures on the fucking road, bro. I was so delirious, dude. I was just like, well,
dude,
like,
what's that?
Dude,
He's
seriously.
like, what, dude, I don't see anything.
My
He's
eyes
like,
were just getting...
no, it's coming towards us.
Dude, I was straight up seeing like goblins on the road, dude. I was
That's
just like,
crazy, dude.
I was just like, all right, I think I need to swap out here.
Yeah.
Because we were running off like such little sleep,
Already,
so many
yeah.
fucking stimulants, and just everything.
Yeah.
And just kind of chilling there. I was just like, oh man.
And then Shane drove, and then I had to come in the front. Dude, I literally got no sleep that whole drive because you guys were trying to stay awake in the front. Sam somehow just passed out. I don't know how. I think it's the GH just helped him a little bit with that. And then I was trying to. I put my AirPods in. And I just kept hearing like this thumping. I was like, took my AirPods out, and you guys were just jamming in the front. That was so funny. But it was fucked because I got no sleep. Because then I once you swapped out, Shane started driving, and I had to keep awake so that he would stay awake and whatnot. And then I had to drive. Or no, wait, didn't Sam? No, who drove next? Was it me?
Did.
Yeah, it was me. So then that like was just like, bro, I had no sleep whatsoever, and I tried to sleep a little bit, but I just really couldn't. I was like, all right, well at this point I'm just gonna say fuck it and just sleep when I get home. You know what I mean?
All right, I took off like the last hour, and dude, I feel like all of us were just kind of like rotating, just trying to like just scrape our way through it, like no sleep, dude. I was like,
that was crazy.
Plus, like, just like all of the, like between the hard training, like we were probably having like pretty not as much water as we should be.
Yeah. Oh, definitely no. Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, and just kind of everything, like no sleep, whatever, just 11 hours there, a couple nights there, and then like now going 11 hours back, just all the driving. Just being in there, dude, I felt like my body was just like, what the fuck is happening, bro? Like,
yeah.
Just like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
But, it's so worth it. You can't just live in your box all the fucking time. Like, you have to experience life.
Yeah.
But overall, dude, I think that trip was so fucking sick. I give it like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
100%.
straight up.
So sick. Just like being able to enjoy it with all of you guys.
Yeah.
Just made it so much better.
It was so
I'm
sick.
really glad we all met up and decided to go.
I think it's cool because we just invented a new group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like now, I mean, we're buddies with Shane. We're buddies with Caleb now. Like, you guys met everyone. We're gonna make content with Sam this summer. We're gonna have him on the podcast. Like, that's it's just cool to like just find that new group of like expanding the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just super sick to just. I think you can learn something from everyone.
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
Yeah.
Everyone can teach you something, and just kind of like even you, like you've taught me things.
Yeah.
Every single bodybuilder, I try to. There's like some quote I heard that I've tried to always take into consideration is, whenever I meet someone, I try to like identify their biggest strengths, and maybe also like their biggest weaknesses, and try to like incorporate their strengths that are maybe different from mine into like my own arsenal in my own way. You know?
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah,
but try to leave out the weaknesses.
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. I think it's cool because it's like you're looking and trying to see the good in everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
But I also just love like, talking kind of like with Sam and you, other bodybuilders just in general, like within different coaches, just seeing how every bodybuilder is unique and just does things in certain ways. There's not just like one black and white way to bodybuild.
No.
There's so many different
ways. So many different intricate things that people do in a day-to-day life in their bodybuilding lifestyle that may be different. Like I started telling people about the whole milk and cereal thing that I learned from another bodybuilder. Sam told me to stop injecting my delt.
Yeah.
And just random small stuff like that where it's like they do it differently, but it might be something you could benefit from, or just at least hear them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's something that like needs to be looked at more, especially from like dudes, is because they get just so egocentric. Yeah, like they just always think like
their way is the best.
It's like their way or the highway, or it's like, they can't learn anything.
Right,
it's the biggest thing. And once you have like that mentality, then it's like you might as well just be done.
Right, you're stuck in your ways. Yeah,
exactly. But I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to touch on from the trip.
Yeah, well, we got home and
brings it all to.
What was the first thing you did when you got home?
Fucking slept, bro. Slept. When we got there, it was Mother's Day, so I drove Caleb home, and I came back, and right after that, dude, I took like a 4-hour nap. I was so fucking exhausted, dude. And right after that, I woke up and took my mom out to dinner. We got some like pasta. Mm-hmm. Then we went down.
Super cool.
Yeah, we got some ice cream from the Pearl. Just kind of walked around and talked. Enjoyed some good time with her. She's been getting a little bit more and more to like bodybuilding stuff. Like
that's super cool.
She checked out the posing routine I posted of Terrence, and she was like, wow, this was like super amazing. Like,
yeah.
Kind of talking to her about it, and I was just like, it's just cool seeing her getting like more and more, a little bit into the bodybuilding scene, understanding things like a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just seeing her become more invested, which is really cool.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got home and I saw that my mom bought rice cakes, so I pounded 2 bags of them.
2 bags?
Yeah. Full packages of rice cakes.
Let's go.
And then I had a little bit of protein, went outside, tanned for a bit, came inside, and I was really tired because of all the carbs hitting me.
Yeah.
So I went downstairs, and I just remember like my dad waking me up. He's like, dude, like, you're like just covered in sweat, dude. And I was like, what? He's like, where am I?
Where am I?
And my dad's like, dude, you like fell asleep like 4 hours ago. And I'm like, dude, I was just like, I woke up, I just didn't have any orientation of what was going on for like the rest of the day. Like I kind of, like it was fun to be able to spend like Mother's Day together, but it was just still like, dude, I am so wiped. I don't know where I am.
Dude, I was struggling to like form thoughts for like a day and a half. I would just kind of like you said, like my brain fog was just like nuts.
I know. It was super cool too because it was like my mom was just super happy to see me. Like it wasn't even like she wasn't like, oh well, you don't want to talk to me. I was like, she's like, I can understand why you're not, you're not. Well, that's why it's just like that was just super cool because it was just like we made that effort to go an extra mile to just get there early, and it was just cool to just be with our moms, man.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I love my mom more than anything. And I'm sure you do too. Moms deserve all the love in the world. The ones that like actually put in the work to be good moms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's pretty much sums up the Pittsburgh Pro. Dude, it was a fucking awesome trip. One I'm going to remember forever, for sure.
Straight up.
And
Can't wait to do some more.
I was about to say, like, only more to come, dude.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah.
Chicago Pro?
Chicago Pro, baby. That'll be the next pro show we probably head to.
Yeah, it'll be sick. We'll keep you guys updated.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Savage Excellence Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Trist_Nelson. You can find Will at
Will.Hardy1 on Instagram and YouTube.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, guys. You guys take care and have an awesome rest of your day.
Peace. Guys.